Welcome to A Sex Worker's Guide to the Galaxy, a podcast where the answer to life, the universe, and everything is sex workers. I'm your host, Parker Westwood. I am a sex worker, activist, artist based in Detroit. Proudly based in Detroit, I may add. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to be coming at you once every 2 weeks with another sex worker. And we're going to be talking about their life, how they got into sex work, a little bit about what they do currently. And then we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into a topic of their selection. I have this incredible running list of topics that's only growing, and I'm so excited to get to talk about all of them at some point, but not right now. Control, self-control. That has been one of the hardest parts about this pilot is I'm like, how does one explain what a show is going to be about when it's going to be about so many things? But I'm going to try. I will do my best to make sure I put trigger warnings at the top of the interviews that require them. But I just want to make sure you all know what you're getting into because I like to have a wide variety of things to talk about. And if people are willing to go deep with me, we're going to go deep. I like it deep. The goal of this podcast is to humanize sex workers. I realized a lot of our assumptions about sex workers come from these tropes that we see in media. When sex workers show up in the media, we are either idolized or vilified. There's just this giant vacuous space in the middle where our real life human stories should be. And I'd like to make an attempt to correct that. I believe that there's power in our stories, and not just sex workers, all of our stories, all of our human stories. And I wanted to create a space for sex workers to tell their own story in their own voice. And I'm really excited about that. That's a dream come true. It's my dream come true. So 2021's off to a good start. I aim to make these shows fun, even though we're going to be talking about some heavy stuff every once in a while. They're going to get political. We're going to laugh. We're going to maybe cry. I don't know. Who's to say? I've only done 4 episodes so far. But my goal is to have a range of conversations with a range of different sex workers. So I have 2 commitments for you. I commit to doing my work. I am a sex worker, but I am white. I am femme presenting with a female body, though I identify as genderqueer. I'm queer. I come from a working class background. I'm able-bodied. I grew up in the Midwest. All of these identities are important because they shape the way that I've experienced the world and therefore how I will view a lot of the topics we're going to approach. I have ingrained sexism, racism, whorephobia, transphobia. All of these things are in my being because I was raised in this culture. My commitment to you in doing my work is that I will continue to combat these things. I will be open to criticism. I will be open to correction. And the reason I feel this is so important to talk about and make this commitment is because I am going to mess up. I'm going to. It's just absolutely going to happen at some point. And as much as I wish I could show up perfectly and never make a mistake and never offend anyone, that's not possible. I do want to do this as right as possible. And I know that in order to do it right, I have to be wrong sometimes. I also commit to have a variety of guests. This has been a goal regardless because I find the entire industry fascinating. I want to have many different kinds of sex workers on, not just different races, different genders, different ethnicities, different abilities, different, all of the differences, because there are so many. or a very diverse crew, but I would like to have people on the show who are from different areas of sex work. So phone sex operators, cam people, full service sex workers, doms, like there's just so many strippers. There's so many. So I want to have a variety of guests. And that's my second commitment to you, is that I will do my best to bring on a wide spectrum of guests on the show. So some of these episodes are going to get heavy, but I really do hope that we can still have fun with it. Because if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. But if you're avoiding hard topics and only having fun, that's also a problem. So we're just going to try and have a nice, healthy balance. And I'm a Libra, so you're in good hands. Why did I choose a podcast? First of all, I just think podcasts are a really great medium, and I have been finding them incredibly comforting during this period of pandemic in particular. But in general, I really like feeling like I'm listening in on a conversation with some friends, or just present for the warmth of a conversation between two people. Or more people, whatever, it doesn't matter. But either way, I find them comforting. Podcasts also provide a level of anonymity that's really important in interviewing sex workers, because not all of us are face forward. So it provides a level of safety in that you only hear our voice. And a lot of us have really sexy voices, so it's really not a bad thing, is it? I also chose a podcast because I want to learn how to do it. And bonus points, what's more human than watching someone learn how to do something? Like stumble and kind of suck. This is a really vulnerable moment for me, like putting something out that isn't done. Like it's done, but it's not perfectly polished. It's still rough around the edges. And it's uncomfortable, so I get to be uncomfortable with you all, and that is uncomfortable, but here we are. We're doing it, and I feel really grateful and ready for it. I've done my work. So who am I? Why do I, of all people, want to do this podcast, and why should I be doing this podcast? Great question. I'm a sex worker. I've been a sex worker since I was 19, in and out of the industry. I started out as a stripper through college. It wasn't in a big city. It was at a couple of small clubs in northern Wisconsin. And I also studied sex and sexuality in college. I didn't graduate, but sometimes you don't need to. Shout out to all the dropouts out there. And for the last 2 years and some change, I've been Parker Westwood, a full-service sex worker. And in that work, I've been honing my skills, and I'm moving into more dominatrix territory. And I aspire to continue to learn, because there's so much to learn in this industry. And I'm a human, so like I check all of the boxes. I consider myself incredibly lucky to get to do this. And it just makes me so excited to get to share these conversations with you. Like truly wet excited. And if that makes you uncomfortable, just wait for some of these episodes. Buckle up, Buttercup. And on that note, I guess, kind of in a way, I opted to leave room for swearing on this show. I went back and forth about it, and I think I just want people to feel comfortable using whatever language they want to use. So there's that. I can't take credit for the name. The name was given to me. It was a gift from Skyler Mills, who I will be linking for sure, because I give credit where credit is due. Also, the intro track, the track coming in, and as we exit the episode, is created by a fellow sex worker, Corey Davenport. I will also be linking them in the show notes, and they will be a guest on the show soon. I mean, I hope everyone I know who's a sex worker is eventually on the show, because, like I said, our stories need to be told. I have the privilege of knowing some really cool people in sex work, and I'm only meeting more because of this, so I'm already grateful. There's a lot of different ways you can support the podcast. First of all, you're listening to it, and that is one of the most important things you can do for a podcast. One of my close friends once said that bearing witness is one of the greatest gifts that we can give to one another. So thank you for that gift. Another way you can support the podcast is tell your friends about it. Get other people to listen. The more these stories are told, the more people that hear them, the better off we'll be. And then you can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/sexygalaxypod. 50% of the proceeds go to support my activist work with Answer Detroit, a network of sex workers to excite revolution. It's an incredible collective of sex workers working to destigmatize, decriminalize, and liberate sex workers in the Detroit area and beyond. And we have a mutual aid project, among many other things. So 50% of the proceeds go to support that work. And you can follow us on Twitter at Sexy Galaxy Pod. We do not have an Instagram because I am social media'd out, to be honest. So Twitter, it shall be. Maybe an Instagram will come at some point. I have been trying for days, weeks, months, years, to figure out how to sign off this podcast, and I don't know. So we're gonna play with it. I feel like it should be something spacey. It'd be cool if I referenced Hitchhikers, but yeah, it's keep your nipples out the airlock, kids. You see? I don't know why that there's like a vaudevillian in space. Oh no. You all are gonna see all of my accents. I'm not gonna apologize. Nanu nanu, motherfuckers.